Harry!
What the hell? Wendy,
what are you doing?
I'm fucking something up. That's what I do around here.
Just be careful, Hannah Montana.
Megan Fox's.
You're just gonna show that.
Yeah, we're just gonna have. This is me back in high school.
You guys look the same.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Maybe to Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder.
Is that gonna work? Fucking A. All right.
Okay. I'm trying to find the thing that you shared with the questions, but I'm not very smart in tech savvy.
Amelia, you're gonna have to be responsible. That's the version that I just heard there.
I need to be responsible for what?
The questions, because Jess and I are not responsible, which was never a.
I have them open.
This was a fucking foregone conclusion, by the way.
Was it a sheet or was it a document that you shared?
I think it was a link in the Instagram chat that we have.
Google Doc. Do you guys need it again?
Girl,
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna pretend like I had my shit together. It's not happening.
I have it open. I just need to give you guys
Oh, I see it. I see it. I got it.
Someone jumped in. I have an anonymous
That's me. I got it. Did anyone else come in while I was trying to get my crap together? Lindsey, invite her on. Yeah, sorry, Carrie. It'll probably be a minute or two before we get our shit together.
It's fine.
That's standard. A minute's generous.
The curse of me being promptly on time. It's rats. Oh, you're on time. Ooh, wow.
Lindsey's
I'm
here.
so proud of you.
We're gonna show you.
Okay.
Early bird specials for new one.
Early bird special. Oh my god.
Lindsey, just let me know whenever you're ready and I can send the little invite thing again.
Yeah, little invite.
I know, Carrie, we're keeping you up past your bedtime.
I know, I would be asleep right about now.
Oh, Wendy, Amelia, look what I found today.
More.
Oh, you found more of them.
I did. I was all out. Still not sponsored.
How dare they?
I know. Keep tagging them and stuff. They just don't want to sponsor me.
Those would be absolute poison for me.
My toddler likes them. Everly's here. I can invite her on. Okay, I sent her an invite.
Ooh.
Hey, Everly.
There's more people popping up in the squares.
There's going to be a few squares. That's why I said this is going to be a little chaotic, but it's fine. Hey, postmortem.
You're calling me a square?
Rectangle.
Yes.
Hey, Z Martin.
The elementary school teacher had to weigh in on the fucking shape already.
Quadrilateral. Parallel.
Amelia,
Okay,
I
Lindsey,
swear to God, I hope your
sent
pillow's
another
not cold tonight. I swear.
Okay, so Lindsey's here. I just sent her an invite, so I think we're just waiting on Lauren. Right?
Yeah.
And to everyone here, you don't have to be on camera if you're not comfortable. You could do voice, you can do camera, you can just do neither one. It's fine.
Combination of
No voice.
Yeah, you can just type in the chat, whatever works. Whatever you gotta do.
Combination of both.
Okay, Lauren's here. I'll invite her.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
We totally
Yes,
can.
we can.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, hi guys.
Hello, hello. You got the
Hello.
lights and everything.
The party's here. I had to get a beverage. I don't know what kind of party this is. Is this water or is this high noon energy?
I mean, what day
I
is
have
it?
Dunkin'.
I went with water, but
Yeah. You may need a drink after.
I have coffee.
I have
think I might
coffee
need
too.
that.
I have so many beverages in here.
Yeah, I have a refresher, I have a Coke, and I have a seltzer.
Unless you don't have your shitty coffee situation.
Okay, it's too hot for coffee.
Iced coffee.
Next time no, I don't know. Like it reaches a certain temperature and even iced coffee makes me nauseous.
No, it's the blueberry shit that you put in it. That's what's probably making you nervous.
Okay. The next time that we go live, I'm gonna have a lavender latte for you.
Ugh. You have all that shit. Keep it. Go ahead.
Whatever. You just don't get it. You need to try
You're
it. It's
correct.
really good.
100%. You keep it, Gen Z. You can have all of it.
How do you
Okay, well, everyone got here really quickly.
I got everybody up past their bedtime.
They're all yawning.
Yeah, sorry.
Listen, it's a Monday.
That's how you know that we're adults. We're going live on a Monday.
That's right. All right.
Okay,
ready?
well, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
yes, thank you.
All right. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves or do you want us to introduce you? You probably don't want me to introduce you, but
Hi, Veronica.
you can introduce yourselves if you like, or if you don't want to, I will at least introduce Everly and Lauren if they don't want to do themselves.
We can go in square order.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
You want to start, Carrie?
Me? Oh, I'm
Introduce
the square
yourself. You have many talents.
root. The
Tell us
square
about
root
them.
of Carietta. Okay.
Yes.
I'm Carietta. I'm a author, voiceover artist, and audiobook narrator. And yeah, that's me.
Good job. Okay, Everly.
Everly Woods, audiobook narrator.
Lindsey.
Oh, sorry, I had to unmute. I'm Lindsey. I am an audiobook narrator, voiceover. Also do narration and voiceover for video games. And yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
And Lauren.
Hello. I'm Lauren, and I narrate audiobooks. And that's it.
Thank you, Veronica.
Veronica.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming. So if you are watching and you're popping in and you have no idea what we're doing, in celebration of Audiobook Month, we are hosting Narrator Night. So all of the lovely squares that you see here, besides myself and Wendy Wills and Amelia, they are all narrators. And Wendy and I have both together worked with all of these narrators in some capacity between ourselves. So that's why they're here. So we have quite a few questions that we're going to be asking. And yeah, thank you for coming.
All right, hit it, Amelia.
All right, let's go with a soft one first. Do you have a preferred genre or ones that you don't want to do?
Carrie.
Ooh, I will read anything, and I mean, other than like maybe Amish romance. That would But I will
So
pretty much read it.
Thing.
Did Lauren
How to
say
say
is
is
not a
romance.
thing?
Hi,
Girl, that is
Sarah.
so a thing.
Is it really a
Hi,
thing?
Chandra.
It's a
Go
big
on
market.
Kensington's website. Half their romance books, Lauren, are Amish.
Yes, that's a thing.
Stop.
All right, Everly.
Are there genres I won't read? Is that
Yeah.
what the
Or
question?
preferred ones.
Or just preferred ones.
Preferred. Well, technically, this is my pseudonym for
Yeah.
romance. Or I guess more spice. So, but I mean, not really.
Amish
Um,
romance, yeah.
Huh?
I'm still on the Amish romance.
Everybody's on the Amish romance in the comments section.
I mean, I've actually read a few. I mean, on my Goodreads, I'm nearing 2,000 books read on Goodreads.
Oh wow.
I'm a reader. Always have been. That's kind of what got me into this, is my love of reading. So yeah, so I've read just about anything romance specifically.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I mean, I take a chance on a lot of different things.
She works with me, so you know she'll do most of
Okay.
the sounds of it. So
I love it. So, but I mean, you know, it would take a lot for me to not yes, read it,
Okay.
to narrate it. So,
All right, Lindsay.
Which one I prefer?
Yeah, do you
well,
have a
I'll read-
preference?
Lately, I've been more into the extreme horror and splatterpunk. But I'll do anything really. I did dark
Okay.
romance. I like that.
All right, and then Lauren.
So I get booked for a lot of fantasy and dark romance. And then I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm entering into like a contemporary romance like era. But yeah, I'll read pretty much everything except for like religion or like anything that not, like for kids. Like
Mm-hmm.
let's caveat that. So
like,
you
I
mean
don't
like
know
kids' books?
what?
You mean like kids' books?
No, I would read kids. I would do children's books, but I would have to do a different. Like I would have to have a pseudonym for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, separate them.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
You maybe don't want what is it? Never Stop right next to Willie Goes to the Park.
It'd be like,
Maybe not.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just not even associate those two together.
Yeah. Fair. How about nonfiction? Would you guys do nonfiction?
For sure. I think it would need to be. I would need to be interested in it though. Like, like some. I don't know that I could read like a self-help book.
Yeah.
I think I would struggle.
Yeah, I feel like a self-help book.
I need the help, but I'd struggle.
I feel like a third way through a self-help, you would just start sounding more depressed the farther you went.
I'm bored. I got you. Like one of them.
yeah.
What about a
All
POV
right.
difference? A POV or alone, dual, duet?
Performance. She's asking, what you have a preference?
I haven't done anything but solo.
Ooh.
I've just done myself.
So far, I've only done solo. I have one coming up that I'm supposed to be doing duet, but
Ooh.
So how does that work?
we do typically it kind of depends. As in with the one I'm going to be doing, I will be doing all of the female voices for all of the female characters, and then or femme, and then a male narrator will be doing all of the voices for all of the male characters in the book, and then they get spliced together in editing. So,
Do you do that, or does he do that, or?
well, this one's a little special. I can't like talk about what it is because it hasn't been announced or anything. But the author is very creative and special, and she's taken on learning the whole audio engineering herself, and so she's actually going to be editing and audio engineering the audiobook herself.
Wow.
So
Dang.
so me and the other narrator are just going to be doing our narration, and then she will be putting it together. So
That's cool.
mhm.
And then Lindsey, have you done other than solo, or are you like Carrie?
Um,
Hey,
I've only
Danny.
did solo so far, but I do have an audiobook coming up with a dude. It's a dark romance.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Groovy.
that is exciting. And then
My first
Lauren.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have done. I've done all three. So I like them all in different ways. But I think that dual is cool because you can like get into the characters, like both of the main characters. And so I feel like the flow kind of works a little bit better. But then I also really like duet, because then you get to focus on like specific characters and you can give them more personality. I don't know. I mean, I know that duet is pretty poppin' right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it's been really fun. It's been really fun to record those.
How do you guys deal with that? Because I know I see a lot of times on live, I'll see narrators duetting together, like where they're tandem working. But like when you're not doing that, like if you don't live in the same area as your male counterpart or whatever, how does that work? Like
A clicker.
A clicker.
And so what you do is you would read. So say it's my point of view and I'm doing the narration, but there's dialogue in it. And so when my co-narrator's dialogue comes up, you would click, and what it does is it creates like this peak in the waveform, and it just lets the editor know where my co-narrator's dialogue needs to go.
So that click makes a really loud noise, and that loud noise makes a long line on the waveform.
And it lets the editor know where to put in the dialogue.
So it's a lot of editing on the back end when you duet, because you're having to put two people together speaking.
Yes.
So let me ask this. Will they send you, like, will your counterpart send you his audio so that you can hear it, so that you can like, I know it's like acting, so sometimes it's better to have somebody to play off of. So do you guys like send each other dialogue so you can each hear the other person saying the line, so to speak, so that you're responding in real time? Or are you just recording by yourself in isolation and they're just somebody sticking it together later? Or both may be true.
I think, so.
Both can be true in ways.
Yeah. If you're like the tandem that you were talking about earlier, so they have character samples. So basically what you do is you get together beforehand and you kind of like talk about character samples and how you want your characters to sound. And so you like ping pong ideas typically with your co-narrator, if you get the chance. And then at that point, Yeah, I don't really think that they send their dialogue until pickups.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can hear them.
I just know I saw some of the other day, and it may have just been a voice sample, but she was showing her co-narrator. She was listening to him, and then she was getting ready to start her part. So it may have just been a sample, but you know, when you're outside it, you're like, wait, does she have like all the dialogue from the other person already? So it was probably a sample. I just didn't understand what I was seeing there.
Yeah, it was probably a pickup if I had to
So
guess.
I think that was a pickup.
Yeah.
On pickups, especially if they're with a production company and they get sent their pickups, they've already put together a lot of it. And so like, so sometimes she's already got like the mail coming in, and it'll surprise her sometimes because she wasn't expecting it or whatnot.
Right.
And
Yeah.
because it was there, but typically you just get like voice samples.
Yeah, when you're working with a production company, you're not going to hear your co-narrator at all until you get that pickup packet back. And that's basically just corrections that need to be made before you can put the audiobook like through quality assurance or quality checks.
Okay.
It's live.
So do you guys do your own editing or do you send out for it?
I do my own so far still, so.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm about ready to start outsourcing because I'm over it.
I can't be over it yet, but I'm ready to be over it.
I'm at the point where I think 2026 is when I'm going to really start outsourcing any projects that are not with a production company.
Yeah.
For my sanity.
Same.
And then Carrie, do you self-edit?
I do.
And what about you, Lindsay?
I also self-edit. It's tiring having to record and then going back and having to edit. So yeah, it's tedious.
And I'm a perfectionist.
It wouldn't be as bad, but
I can imagine that makes it worse when you're a perfectionist. It's got to be.
I'm an OCD perfectionist, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you guys are having different experiences. Are you ACX Studio? Where do you guys go when you're starting out with this?
How'd you get started?
ACX.
ACX.
Yeah, I think ACX is pretty much like where everybody kind of starts. It has everything, you know, to get your start, to get your foot in the door. And then I think after that, you know, you can branch out to different platforms in order to audition or, I don't know, market yourself. But yeah, ACX seems to be like the spot to start out.
So I know like a unique perspective. Carrie, I've listened to you audition for like commercials.
yeah, that's
Because you're over in that space.
Yeah, that's mainly on like backstage. I've auditioned for Quinn, Dipsy Stories, Casting Call Club, Actor Access. I'm all over the place.
Just collecting them.
I am a voice whore, so I will go everywhere.
Did you say voice whore?
You did.
I love it.
Is
I've
that
auditioned just for radio stations. So.
where do you find the most success with commercial VO?
So far, backstage has the most variety. It is one of those pay-to-play kind of things, so you do have to get a subscription in order to have access to auditions. It's a little more reasonable than, say, like Actor Access, where you have to pay per audition unless you have an agent. So it's one of those, it's kind of like, it can be like hectic, because, you know, for every 100 frickin' auditions you're doing, because usually you're pumping auditions out and might get, it's like fishing. You have to just, So it can be very time consuming.
Yeah.
And I know Lindsey, you do video game stuff too. So you have that perspective as well. What's the
Mhm.
process like for that?
Um, Usually I will do my audio and then I send it to the game dev and he fixes it and plugs it into the program. And if there's any mistakes or if sound seems a little off, so just tell me, you need to fix that. Can you reword that? And, yeah.
How do you find the video game jobs, Lindsey? Like, how do you know? Do you know those people, or are you like, is there somewhere that you know to go to look for those?
Yeah, so I got my first one through itch.io. It's a platform for indie game devs, and that indie game devs will need voice acting, or if you're an artist, they'll ask for that. So that's where I got my work there. And then some people just messaged me from there, like on Twitter and stuff.
That's pretty dope. Like, that's super cool.
Mm.
How do you decide which projects you want to do?
Well, it's mainly horror games that I've worked with for the video games. The little indie horror games. I don't know if you guys seen those, but yeah, just little
I
indie horror
think
games.
I think the commenters want to know if you're comfortable sharing titles of games that you've worked on, Lindsey.
There was one that I worked on called Asmar. I can send links later. Um, and there's another one. I don't know it off the top of my head. Hold on.
What about you guys? How do you pick your projects?
You want to start, Carrie?
Anything that I think my voice can do. Um, being a voice actor, I guess, per se, I'm able to, like, you know, go really high, low, whatever you want. Do a
You do
trumpet.
some great voices.
Well, thank you. So yeah, the only thing I cannot do is a fucking Midwestern. I cannot do it. I have too much of a twang. I just cannot get rid of it. I can do a Boston, which is weird, but I cannot do a Midwestern. So usually whatever I think, whatever type of voice that I can do that I can comfortably do for a very long time. There are some voices that I can do, but just short snippets, and then I have to, like, give my voice a break, or else it starts breaking character. So yeah,
My favorite Carrie voice is Joel Goldberg from the show You. That's my favorite.
you get a lot of
All
that
right.
from the current book. So.
And Everly?
I'd say in part on the voice, especially if I see something come up that specifically, is asking for a voice that I think fits for me. Otherwise, it's kind of a gut feeling or reaction that I have to the book. If it just, hits or looks good or right, even just, I just have a feeling about the story or an attachment to the story right away or something like that. That's usually how I go about picking.
Do you read the book or do you just read the synopsis of it?
Just the synopsis. I think most will say we don't really have time most of the time to read a book before we audition and everything for unless we've just happened to have read it before and everything. We don't usually have time to read a whole book before we audition and everything. So it goes down to just reading the synopsis and what the author gives us and everything beforehand. Except for Danny's book. I read hers and reached out to her.
Cool.
I feel like the book cover is also a calling. If the book cover sucks, I'm
Yeah, Carrie
usually
with
like
her
hard
covers.
pass.
Carrie.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
I've listened to her go through that.
Be scrolling through. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool, but that cover, good job. I cannot put my name on that.
And what about you, Lindsay? Do you have like
Sorry.
Wait, what happened? Sorry. I was typing in chat.
Oh, Lord.
How do you decide
I'm ignoring you.
or projects? How do you decide which projects you want to do?
Book projects.
Oh, I'm pretty open about anything, really, as long as, we all are cool with each other and communicate and stuff like that. So I'm pretty open.
and then what about you, Lauren?
How do I choose books? I agree with like going on vibes. I feel like when I read the audition and then I go and I find the book and I read the synopsis, and if it's something that I am interested in, then usually I'll audition. But a lot of it depends on if the author puts in like the notes that they need specific accents or if whatever, depending on what it is also how I make a decision. Because
All right, so I'm going to talk about myself here for a second because I knew Lauren Beck was going to bring up the word accent, and Everly's sitting here waiting for her to be like, Wendy, you better fucking say something. So, I
here we go.
am an asshole, and when I wrote books, I was not thinking I was going to make audiobooks. So when I met Everly and Lauren, I met them within like a 4-day span. So Everly tried out for a vampire book that Lauren also came behind in and tried out on. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing out here because there's no fucking plan. So I was like, hey, Lauren, I don't know what I'm doing with that book that you tried out for, but I have this book over here. You want to try out for it? And sweet Lauren, I think was just starting out. I'm just in this process. And she's like, sure, I'll look at it. Fucking Scottish accent right out of the gate, just right there in the audition piece. And sweet Lauren is just like, she sends me a message. She's like, I'm going to get some tea and pray to God I can do a Scottish accent. I was like, sounds fantastic. And then I should have been supportive and been like, I'm sure you're going to do this. And then I had to fucking go, but everybody before you leaned real hard into drunk pirate. And she was like, fucking great. No pressure. But it was Scottish. It was Scottish when she did it. And Everly's doing 7,000 because I couldn't control myself apparently in my vampire books.
I would just like to point out that
Here we go.
that never
I know.
in your
I knew this was coming.
synopsis in description was there ever
I know.
a reference to a single accent.
You did her
I know.
The audition had no accent.
I don't know what
There
I'm
was
fucking
never
doing.
I didn't know this book had a single accent other than American.
General American all day. I'm good.
I know.
I know.
The two main characters
Yep.
is English.
Yep.
That's all I knew. That's all I knew.
They were speaking English. Yep. Yeah, y'all, I made Everly speak Russian. Not just like with a Russian accent. There's fucking Russian. And the,
Oh no, there's the Russian language.
How did you learn that? How'd you do that?
I did it.
It sounds amazing. Just so we're all clear. It sounds
I
amazing.
speak Russian with a male with like in a male voice and in a female voice.
I'm an asshole.
Sometimes
I
you just gotta
fully
wing
popped
it.
to this right out of the damn gate. There was no plan.
And
Yep.
I speak German.
Yep. Sure do. And there's Welsh in one of the books, Everly. Third
Yeah.
book. There's
Yeah, you
Welsh
told
in
me
that
that
one.
just recently.
Yeah. That's a thing that I did. But you guys will be so proud of me because the book I just finished, not a fucking accent in it. Not a single one.
Wendy.
Now, it's in a fictional world, so that's why there's no accents. Though Jess is about to call me out because she was on writing sprints with me the other day, and what was I doing? I was translating shit into Latin. It's fine.
Of course
Can't
you
help
were.
myself.
There has to be something.
There has to be something. Yeah, that was happening.
That's just
Nobody
like your
has an
standalone
accent this
turned
fucking
into a
time.
duology.
Yeah, I know. Shut up. Yeah, yeah.
Is there a British cat?
I said that one for you. The British cat. There's two. But it's in my witch series. In my witch series, there are British cats. Yeah.
Of course there is.
So I
have
did
a
human
cat,
voices only.
familiar,
I submitted
and
stuff for human
a
voices
crow.
only for Lauren and Everly. I submitted to both of them. And again, no context, as Everly said, because I'm a fucking idiot. So I send Lauren this piece and she's looking at it. And because Lauren and I are vibes, she sends me a message and goes, "Hey, is this cat British?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Does he talk like a butler or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Vibes. I could feel it." Didn't tell her, no context, just full fucking sent it.
I was like, listen. This cat, it's got a vibe. And I'm like, I'm not sure what direction you're going in, but like,
Feels British.
hear me out. British butler. She was like, no, that's exactly how I get this cat. And I was like, bet, got you. We're good.
Yeah, it's vibes. I'm an asshole. Sorry, y'all. Thanks for working with me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
Jesus. Sorry.
You can't even help yourself with other people's books. You're always trying to insert accents in my books that don't exist.
That's true. Okay, but in my
Damien.
defense, you wrote a whole ass character that should be British. So,
I feel like, Wendy, I just want to know like what your British accent sounds like.
British. I don't have a good one. I do not.
She's
my
been
mom,
practicing.
Yeah, I have been practicing. My children are starting to do it at dinner, and my husband is like, "This house is not a home. Stop with the British accent at the dinner table. You guys are freaking killing me." So, yes, British. Everly does a really good one in my vampire book. She does.
I have
awesome.
like 4 different regional.
yeah. Again, I'm an asshole. I'm the first to.
Totally. I'm about to send you flowers, dude.
I hope these hit. If they don't, I'm sorry.
Yep. So this is the reason narrators only work with me once. I've learned my lesson. It's okay. It's okay.
Wendy, I would 110% work with you again.
Yeah. Even after the Scottish accent.
I'm just going to improve. I'm going to make sure that I'm very well versed in all accents going forward.
Well, Carrie was talking about a Boston accent. I have a Boston accent in my dystopia because of course I do.
Of course you do.
Why not?
Why not?
You know? Why not? Just put that back in the cow. We'll just take that with us too.
Yeah. So sorry about that, but yeah, there you go. So now you know why my narrators are in trauma after they're like, Jesus, Wendy.
They did show up.
I told her like I would get. I don't have all that much stamina anyways, but I'd get through a day. I'd message her and be like, "I'm exhausted."
I'm so sorry.
I never had the chance to cuss Chuck Nasty out for his book Lot Lizards too, but he had me do
Listening to that now.
He had me do like 10 different southern accents. They had to be all different. And then it was like about 20 characters total. And then it was just like, dude.
You know, I gave no direction to Lindsey for all of the rednecks in book 2 of my Enfield horror series, and she somehow like actually like just nailed all of the different ones without me saying a word to her. Like she just took it on and was like, "Yep, this is what we're doing."
Well, I was cold reading Lot Lizard Stew, and while I was narrating, and I would have a voice, and I would make a character. Yes, I love this voice. And then it would be like that end of that chapter, and be like, well, no, can't use that anymore. He's gone.
God.
And then the one voice that I absolutely hated doing, of course, he survived for 2/3 of the book. So,
Of course.
and he ended up being a chatty person, so he had long passages. And I was like, fuck.
You're here.
It was still fun. But for my payback, though, I was able to actually do an impression of the author himself, how he talks. I made him a character near the end. I was like, I'm going to turn you into a character just because.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna
Brilliant, actually.
I love the detail.
He never made a comment, so I guess it just went by him. He didn't hear
Went over
it.
his head. He's like,
just said,
that sounds
"That's
familiar."
great." All he said when he
character. I don't know why, but I really like his voice.
yeah, he just sent me a message back. He was like, "Well, this is a really great chapter here. Thank you so much."
That's what
I
he
was like,
sounds
"Oh."
like too.
I was like, "Well, you're welcome." He's like a deeper version of Beetlejuice,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
where Beetlejuice is more of a sandworms. Tell me about it. Chuck Nasty's more of a sandworms. He's a little more deeper. So I had to put him in the book himself. So I was like, "You're going in there."
That was so funny.
And that was my way of saying, Chuck, thank you for making me do 12 different Southern I had to make them all different. Fucker.
This is how Everly probably talks about me. My bad. Wasn't thinking when I wrote it.
He's like, he's finally saying what I've been thinking this whole time.
When I finished prepping brunch and that end.
I know she had to email. Okay, listen, again, listen.
None
These
of
people
them
are
had,
professional
like-
people. I am not, is the problem. And so she had to send me a message and go, Wendy, there's not a single fucking tag in the epilogue. Not a single freaking tag. I need you to tell me who
all
that
these
is. And I
people
was like,
dialogue saying all these things, but there was no tag on who was saying who, and I was like, I don't know.
Like a Cormac McCarthy book.
okay, wait, because I sound like such an idiot here, and I am.
turned to my
But
husband.
there's a reason. The person is coming out of being asleep and doesn't know where they are, so their eyes are closed and people are talking. So when you
have a
read
scene
it,
like
it
that
makes
in my book,
sense.
too.
But my brain didn't think Everly has to act this. I need to tell her who the individual people are. And because I'm also not professional, when she emailed me or she texted me and was like, Wendy, for real, I need you to tell me who's in the epilogue. I was like, I honestly don't know who's saying those things, but I will make it up.
I turned to my husband and I was like, what is she thinking?
It's chaos. That's what the inside of my head is like, if that's any consolation.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a dream to work with, is what you're hearing. Fucking dream.
What else don't you like?
Have all of this creative freedom, all of it.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Are there other things that you don't like that when they happen from the author?
Wendy
You wanna
lists
start,
the
Kay?
ways.
Oh God.
You've made him cry, Wendy.
Listen, I warned you. This is going to be a fucking train wreck. I have been hard to work with. I'm not a hard person to get along with. I'm just an asshole in how I write. So, my bad. I apologize.
So yeah, Harry. Are there things you don't like authors doing, like in terms of like nitpicking, being bossy, just any pet peeves?
So far, I've not had any authors really nitpicky. I had one author who got back to me saying, when I wrote this voice, this is what I had in mind, but yours, just stick with that. It's much better than what I had in my head.
Same.
I've had that happen. But one thing I will say, because I've read both gender writers now, is that men cannot write sex scenes the same way.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Lord.
Every time they get to one, I'm like, this is just so not sexy. What is wrong?
So
Oh my god!
Absolutely true.
You guys gotta go. Stop it! Just stop it! Stop calling it that. It's ew.
they'll just call the body parts anything.
They bounce boobily.
Have you read that?
So far, the book I'm currently doing, I absolutely love the plot, love the characters, the world building. Such a great book, but God fucking almighty, if he uses moist slit one more time, nothing about that.
The rugged swamp.
Nothing about that is moist. It makes it dry up like an endangered lake, narrated by Morgan Freeman. It is Sahara.
Rugged swamp is.
I will say that. I'm like, good God. Just, go read something. Stop it. But yeah, that would be my one thing. But I don't.
All right,
All
Everly.
these writers out there. Stop calling
It's hard to follow
weird
that.
names.
I guess. I don't know. Like, I've worked with really great authors so far.
Maybe not present company. Maybe not present company, but people before.
No,
Other stuff is really good, by the way.
you're
Other stuff is really
amazing. You really
Yeah.
are. I guess. Well, I've had a couple bad experiences.
Ooh.
We won't go into detail, but not communicating well. That's, not great. And then maybe also not being sorry, trying to figure out how to word it.
Diplomacy. You're doing it. You got that.
I know. Not, I guess, understanding that, especially when we're the ones doing it all, that it takes time. And sometimes, things take longer than it we sometimes even can plan for and everything. I have had an author previously who did not understand that and everything. So it just being understanding that
We're human.
People human with families and lives, and we are trying to get it made as best and fast as we can, but doesn't always happen fast as we are trying.
All right. And then, Lindsey, do you have any pet peeves or anything with authors that you've dealt with?
I think the first couple audiobooks I did, they weren't very communicative. Um,
I get
they
that
weren't
feeling.
really like pointing out maybe I did a line wrong or something like that. They just accepted the audiobook and that's it. They didn't
Mm.
communicate any further. So I'm like, did I do it right? Did I bring the character to life? Like, this is your
Hmm.
book. Let
Mhm.
me know, you know?
Any
So,
feedback?
yeah, no feedback at all. So, but, working with you, you gave me feedback and
I tried my best.
yeah, no, you did great. So,
You got
yeah,
feedback from Jesse?
I did.
Wow. I didn't get anything.
Oh,
Okay, so
it's your turn. It's your turn. I've been up.
Oh, great. I started a fight.
He's coming.
absolutely gave you feedback, Carrie.
I know.
I got spoiled with Carrie
I'm just
because she
kidding.
goes on live, so I was able to hear some of the process of her choosing voices because she did it on live. So I was in the comments, like, kind of going along with it. And what about you, Lauren? Any pet peeves?
I mean, pretty much just echoing what everybody else said. I mean, I've had one minor experience with micromanaging.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. No, it was definitely not you.
Good job, Wendy.
I did one thing right.
You did a lot of things right.
Don't worry, I got a communication story when you're done here. Go ahead. It's about you.
It's about me? You said it's about me?
Yeah.
God. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's about you.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know. I've had like one minor, like micromanaging experience. And then, I mean, but other than that, and then not getting feedback the way that I would want, right? I feel like, I don't know. I want my authors to like jump for joy, you know? And so like I try to really be super transparent with my authors, and I try really hard to stay on top of letting them know where I'm at in the process, just so that there's that open line of communication. And sometimes it falls flat, or like, sometimes things can still get lost in translation. And again, what Everly was saying about like life happens, like life be lifing.
That's
and
true.
luckily I have not, the authors that I have worked with all have been so incredible. And so when I've had to be like, please don't hate me. I need like 2 more weeks or whatever. Everybody's like, yeah, all right, cool. Great. Let me know if you need anything else. And like, it's such a weight off your shoulders at that point because like deadlines, somebody in the chat had said, deadlines are so stressful. Like I like break out in a sweat from deadlines. But that's it. That's my pet peeve.
Okay.
Amelia, do you want to answer one? Do you want to ask one of your questions? Because you're, you
Looking.
don't have
Yeah.
anything in audio yet. So
I
this
don't.
is your chance if you want to ask them something.
Okay. I got 2 that are specific to me. One is, how do you initiate a duet or duel POV?
How do you tell the narrator that that's what you
Yeah.
want? Is that what you're
I
saying?
said I want them to do that.
You just say it. So if you know who you want to narrate your books, like you can just say, like, you can reach out and be like, this is what I'm looking for. This is the style of narration that I want, and if you have, so say you have your FMC narrator in your head, but you don't know who you want for your MMC. You can you can ask a lot of narrators give it Rex.
Oh, awesome.
And who they like, especially FMCs, like, or, like femme narrators who they trust or who they regularly work with is a good way. And then you can go listen to their samples or go on their social media and see what they post. And if you like their voice, you could reach out that way. And then going through production companies is another way. And I think you can just request narrators. I don't really know how that works. be honest.
I only
Yeah,
know
so like
two.
even though I haven't done duet audiobooks yet, I've still done like some duet snippets and everything with a few other male narrators and everything that I'm friends with and I work with and that I recommend all the time. And so if you know the FMC that you want, a lot of the time they've worked with and have recommendations of males. But yeah, so that's one way to find a male, or vice versa if you know the male narrator that you want to work with and are looking for the female.
I feel like it's easier to go the other direction because, you know, there's a...
Yeah.
I'm gonna phrase it nice, Jess. There is a Lauren knows what I'm gonna say because I've said
Trying
it to her
hard.
before.
He's trying hard right now.
There's a smattering, shall we say, of male narrators that feel like they should be on a watch list. And so
That's a really nice way of saying it.
yeah, I'm just saying I feel like a female narrator knows who's trustworthy and good and not maybe on the creepier side of the world. And I have run across a few male narrators that need some friends to tell them to do fucking less, is what I'm saying. So,
Just do less.
Yeah. Was nice.
I like how Reese during that time.
Luckily, with my voice, I just audition for both genders sometimes. Because I can drop it down or I can raise it if I feel like it, because I have that nice medium.
Mm-hmm.
Best
Sorry.
of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. I'm Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
I'm basically the Miley Cyrus.
All right. My next question is series. I have like 3 different series out there. So if I would want to do that, when you do a series, do you want to complete the series? Do you just want to do one book? How do you like to commit to that?
You want to start, Carrie?
That's usually up to the author, I feel like. I've auditioned, I didn't get it, but I auditioned for a Western series that was going to be the first 2, and then after that they wanted it to be like a reoccurring for all like 50 of these little bitty Western novelettes. I've auditioned before for a couple things that are like 2 to 3 trilogies. I have an author who is currently working on book 4 to something, and he wants me to do all 4 because it's the same narrator with all 4 books. So I think it just is whatever the author's wanting. If it is something like that, which is a long process, it has to be something that I really like, or I just have to really like doing the voice, or the story has to blow me away. I did the Western just because I have fun with Western cowboy stuff, but yeah, I like doing the drawl, giddy up, all kind of thing. So I think it's mainly up to the author.
And then what about you, Everly?
I kind of agree. It's tends to be up to the author. It also depends on how they do the series. I mean, is the FMC and MMC the same throughout the series, or do they follow a different FMC and MMC with each book, to where it's easier to switch the narrators?
Do you like that situation? Like if it does switch main characters in each book? Like I know Wendy's changes the main characters.
I knew I was getting ready to get beat again. Yep.
Because I have a series that's like that too. So that's why I'm asking. Because I have a series where the main characters switch with every book.
Do I like that?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. There's, I think that works well with series. I personally enjoy that when reading. I have no problem with that when narrating either. I know, and it also just kind of depends. I know a lot of the time readers prefer narrators to stay the same, but I think it can also just depend, especially, you know, when you are switching up. You know, if you were to have the same FMC, MMC for the whole series, and then you're switching narrators, that would probably make it a little more difficult, you know, to have that different sound. But if you're having a different FMC and MMC through, you know, with each different book, then, you know, it would be easier to switch the narrator and everything. So it's kind of varying thought processes.
And then what about you, Lindsay? Do you prefer to continue the series or?
I'd continue, but you know,
You have continued
like
with
the thing.
me.
Yeah, yeah, I continue, and just up to the author whether you want me back or not. So yeah,
And then what about you, Lauren?
Yeah, same. I think it's not like it's up to the author, but also what Everly was saying about, you know, if the books are like interconnected standalones or something like that, having those different narrators or like side character stories, right, in a series, I think is smart business to have different narrators, just because then you can have a different voice for each character. But like Everly was saying, if it's the same, if the storyline is going with the same characters throughout the same, you know, for the whole series, it makes sense to have the same narrators throughout. But I really, yeah, it's really up to the author and what they think is best for their vision.
Thank you. All right. What about weirdest line? If you want to share that.
Weirdest thing you said. I can't wait to hear this one.
Carrie, I know you have some good ones for this.
The weirdest line.
Like a notable weird thing you've had to say as part
Pick
of the
something
book.
from one of my books, y'all, to be safe. Go ahead, narrators. Pick something from me. It'll save you.
The weirdest. I'm gonna have to think about this.
I know.
I would say, I don't know, some of the dialogue in Lot Lizard Stew was pretty wild.
I love the name of Lot Lizards 2 is a book.
Lot Lizard Stew, it was narrated by the main character that sounded about like this, Albert Ridgway. He had some very good quips that he would say that were kind of like, you know, the hell did he just say? So I think probably that one had some of the more creative kind of, that or J.M. Gokey's hatred for therapists and the hate.
Okay, you didn't have to bring that up.
You knew that was
If
coming.
you end up calling the therapist a cunt 3 times in 2 paragraphs on the same page.
Same page.
It's crazy how that happens, you know? It just kind of happens.
Yeah, that is called bleed over. That is called bleed over.
I do not trauma dump into my work at all. Don't listen to her.
But yeah, I would say probably Lot Lizard Stew probably had some of the more creative dialogue pieces that made you go, what? You scratch your head a bit and you're like, that really? Yeah, because I think I had to use I think I had to use Baloney Pony in the Lot Lizard Stew.
That's a good one.
I think I had to. Because I think it was Lot Lizard. Don't hold me on that, Jason. I know that you said you're listening to it, but I think it was Lot Lizard Stew where he said something along the lines of, he's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to rein in the baloney pony and get up to another town. Ye haul my way to another girl, if you know what I'm talking about. I think it was that book. Where, so yeah, there you go.
Thank you. And what about you, Everly?
Russian.
Oh, God.
Probably speaking Russian.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
That's a good one. That's fair.
Yep.
Any weird or notable lines for you, Lindsey?
Oh Lord. Some of the lines, but it's more like the graphic too that goes into it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a lot of people read your book, JM, but like the part where Bo walks in on Billy and his wife.
Ooh, I know what you're talking about.
And I had to read that, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm so
Cool.
sorry.
Yep.
That was fine.
something.
I got through it.
You did it wonderfully.
You did. It was great, Lindsey. It was great. It was definitely one of those where I looked up from my phone in the car, like, whoa, okay, it's 11:30 on a Tuesday. Here we go. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. And what about you, Lauren?
There's two that I can think of. One, I had to talk about sexy belly buttons once.
Oh. I've never thought about a belly button as sexy.
It haunts my dreams.
You're just not looking at the right belly buttons.
Yeah, same. And then probably the most, that was, I mean, it's fine. I would say one of the most, or the more notable lines that I've had that I not that I get tagged in, but I'll get messages from especially like friends that have read a specific book by a specific author up in this chat. She talks about baby teeth.
Oh.
Okay. Because I write about fairies.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair.
So in my defense, it was meant to be like an insult.
Just so you know, she's still one of my favorite characters. Like,
oh, Violet.
Of all the books that I've read so far, Violet is still one of my favorite characters. The sass. She's just.
Yeah. My mom regularly, because my mom like reads my books to edit them for me and like tear my shit apart. I don't even think she's here. She might be here. But Lynn has a lot to say.
We love Lynn.
Lynn will say things to me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" when she reads my books. That line was one. She was just like, "Okay."
And I can't remember the whole line. I just remember.
Yeah.
I remember it being an insult, and I remember she's talking to, she's talking about baby teeth.
Yeah.
And
I
remember it, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, it was because I spend 3 books dragging Tinkerbell. And so one of the things I drag is the Tooth Fairy because they're fairies. So I can't write normal flirting because I don't know how to do it. So when I write it in a book, it's an insult. Like, that's the only way I know how to communicate. That's why I was like, enemies to lovers book, I can write the crap out of that. Yeah, let's hate each other until we don't. I can't do like a sweet romance moment. I don't know how to do that. It's hard. Yeah.
So, yeah, I like Lulu so much is because she's so full of sass.
Yes. Mm-hmm. My marriage is enemies to lovers still. So,
me too.
Yeah. So that's all I know how to do. So yeah, that's the insult that they bring out there. Yeah. Baby teeth. I like it. I like that. That's the line from my book.
Baby teeth and belly buttons.
And baby teeth and belly buttons. You should get a t-shirt, Lauren.
No.
It's like a heavy metal band. Baby teeth and belly buttons.
Very please.
I'd probably listen to him.
baby teeth and belly buttons rocked.
I will say, from the writer standpoint, you learn so much about audiobooks when you go through the process, because I had no concept of like how it worked and what a narrator did and like what my role was in it and what y'all's role is in it. So like Lauren had to crash course with me in the process before I got to Everly. So I'm much more professional with Everly than I was with Lauren. Sorry, Lauren.
Well, that's why we're the way we are.
Everly's like, do less, Wendy. So Lauren,
I don't know how to be responsible.
Yeah. You learn how to be responsible. But Lauren, one of the best things that to this day I think is so freaking hilarious is I won't talk about. So Lauren had a sore throat. She had texted me because Lauren had a sore throat and she texted me because she's really communicative. Hire Lauren. She's awesome. But like, she's super communicative. So she'll text like what she's doing stuff. And like, I have a very boring 9 to 5 serious job during the day. So if you need me, you got to text me because I'm fucking Bruce Wayne in that moment, not Batman. So I got to have a minute to like get my shit together. So Lauren texted me, was like, I have a sore throat. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And then we were doing pickups because we were close to the end of the book and I had sent her the wrong fucking timestamp on a pickup. And she's like, I cannot find where I'm saying this dude Colt's name wrong in that pickup. And I'm like, fuck, I have the wrong thing. So I have to go back into my notes, find where I fucked up the pickup and go back to Lauren and say, hey, I fucked up. It's in the chapter after it ends on this date. And Lauren, because she's awesome, is explaining to me the phenomenon that occurs in narrators called swallowing the D.
Oh,
and that
you've told me about this.
Yes, and that that happens with D's on the end of the word, and she thinks she swallowed the T, and I went, damn, no wonder your throat's sore. And I was like, there's a reason narrators don't work with me ever again, and I'm starting to see why.
I was like, does this mean that we're best friends? And she was like, yeah, no, I think so.
Well, I've crossed the line, so let's hope so. Let's hope. It slipped out. Like, I was just like...
It slipped out that you typed it.
I think I voice memoed it.
Yeah, we had like reached a level of friendship at that point where we were voice noting each other.
Yeah.
We get a lot of voice notes.
So many.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a good filter. So it just sort of flew out and Lauren was like, well, yep, there it is. Great. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine.
But yes, communication is important. Maybe don't do it the way I do it. But communication, it's super important.
Yeah. Dude, I forgot all about that.
I bet you did. I didn't. It regularly plays through my mind right when I'm like, damn, that's the best descriptor of something I've ever heard. Like, oh. Especially for somebody who does dark romance novels like you do. I was like, yep, that checks out. All right, well, checks out. 100%. I like that. That is a great phrase. I'm going to save that for some point later.
That's so funny.
Or it's like, thanks, Wendy.
I forgot all about that. I'm not going to lie.
You blocked it out.
I trauma blocked it.
That's when you were going through your soda moment.
See, that's what I thought you were about to say.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I was just, you were having a soda moment and I was, yeah.
That was trauma.
With the freaking soda?
Yes. It turns out, okay, do y'all drink Olipop or Poppies? Good. Don't. Save yourself.
Lauren has to go out and be allergic to a fucking plant part. Fucking inulin that's in everything. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So apparently, if you're allergic to ragweed,
yep,
you have IBS,
yep,
then you are more than likely allergic to inulin, which is the like what kind of fiber is it?
It's like it's kind of a carbohydrate derivative. It's found in plant walls, cell walls. So yeah.
Oh no.
Where is it? It's
JM and Amelia. There you go, allergy people.
Fiber. I don't know. Yeah. I can't think of dietary fiber.
Yeah.
that specific dietary fiber, if you have IBS and you're allergic to ragweed, you will more than likely be allergic to inulin. And if you drink more than one poppy at like in a day, God bless you. God.
Oh no.
I broke out in
would not be
hives.
able to do that.
I broke out in hives and I was like itching. And I'm like, why am I itching? I'm drinking this shit. And I'm like, itching.
What's
like,
wrong?
Yeah, well, because I was bringing them into the booth because I was like, health,
Should have been tequila and not.
Yeah, I don't fuck health, like for real. And so like I would break out in these hives and I'm like, I don't understand, and I would just ignore it. And then the next thing you know, I ended up having like ulcers, like all the way down my esophagus. And then I was so bloated and I couldn't understand why, and I would just burp. Like for 2 weeks, you couldn't talk to me without me burping. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. And I'm drinking these poppies the whole fucking time. And then finally one day I was like, oh, this started happening right when I bought a case from Sam's. And I was like, oh. And so then I started Googling, and then it turns out that I was having like a full-blown allergic reaction that I was just making worse. And so it took like 3 weeks, I think, to get out of my system. And
no.
I'm an advocate for not fucking drinking those.
We had like everything go wrong though. Remember, it snowed. We both got snow in the South here. Everly probably got it too. We all got snow down here. We were not ready for that.
Inches of snow.
Your kids got sick. My kids got sick. It was just like one long, what else can go wrong in the real world with us?
That's that life be lifing thing.
Yeah.
We talked about earlier.
Uh-huh.
Life is a bowl of soup. We are just forks. we do the best we can.
That needs to be on the shirt. There you go.
Mental health's been rough this past month too, so
yeah,
it's been a trip this year.
And you guys have the disadvantage, you get sick even remotely or any of that, it affects what you can do, so that always is going to be an issue, getting back on a mic when you're hoarse or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like if you have MMC parts and you have a scratchy throat, like that's the time to do it. Like play into your illness, because then you'll sound like gravelly or raspy, and yeah.
I always like that video of you making your voice raspy, Lauren.
The girl from The Ring. Which I actually found out it was not The Ring. It was something else that I can't remember because I started talking about it.
All right, you didn't know who William Wallace was, and you made me feel a million, so it's fine. It's cool.
Find out.
She's gonna Google it.
Google it.
Googling William Wallace.
She did that. Listen, I was trying to give her a compliment. She sends me something from the booth, and she's like, Wendy, does it sound like a drunk pirate? Because I gave her a complex when we started working together about the drunk pirate thing. Because sometimes when people do like a Scottish accent, they lean really hard into like the R part of it, and so it gets real piratey when you're listening to them. And so I was like paying her a compliment. I was like, no, it sounds like, she's like, does it sound like a drunk pirate? And I was like, no, it sounds like William Wallace. And she sends back, had to Google it. I was like, fucking great. I'm a million. Great. Love this.
I really do.
The Grudge.
I can do a Barbosa.
The Grudge is the horror movie?
Yeah, The Grudge is the one where she makes
That's what you used to get scratch in your voice?
Yeah.
You should have just did the sound. I could have.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about it till just now.
Yeah, all the horror writers are like, duh.
What an idiot.
I grew up on The Grudge.
Oh, it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just bored.
Well, do you guys have stuff coming out you want to talk about that's about to come out or that you can talk about? Or stuff that you have out, you just want to toot your horn, you can also do that.
Yeah, let's start with Carrie. Toot your own horn.
I'm all about tooting my own horn and shamelessly self-promoting. I'm all about that. You can type my name in to Audible. I think I have like 8 books now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You wrote a lot of them, though.
I'm still a baby. Do what?
You wrote a lot of them. I noticed your name was the author on a lot of them.
On 2 of them.
Yes, pretty damn impressive. I mean, don't say it like that. 2 of them.
My very first audiobook was actually a book that I wrote myself. It was an erotic horror about 2 lesbians getting it on.
It's very good.
Because I was like, you know what? I want to make my first audiobook mine because I know that I can please me. And I can take my time to learn how to do this properly. And then I started dabbling with other authors, and Just J.M. Gokey here was one of the lucky few. Currently, I'm working on my very first 10-hour project that has been a very long, grueling process. Lot Lizards Do is 8 hours.
Yeah, that's up there.
But this one in particular I'm doing now is Lipstick Wings by Christopher Ruffty. It's like a psychological thriller. It's really interesting, even despite his terrible. Luckily, the sex scenes only are like a paragraph and he's done.
Thank goodness.
We all know men finish quick anyways, so boom. Even in writing. Boom, paragraph. Let's move on. Roll over. Make you a sandwich.
Have a good night.
Yeah. But it's really good. I would suggest even reading it, even if you don't even like audio, just get the paperback because it's really cool. It's about a stalker who's stalking this woman at the time that she's attacked by a serial killer, and he is able to stop the attack from happening. And then the serial killer has pretty much got her eyes on him, and she's like chasing him down throughout the. So it's kind of a cool premise. I really like it, and I get to use my almost Joe Goldberg voice for the main character. I get to like, the way I developed his voice was I imagined if Keanu Reeves and Penn Badgley had a baby. Both of their cadences and the way they talk. So, let's see if I can actually do it on the spot late at night with no water. So the main character is right about here. He's very thoughtful with his words. He's very, it's like he almost likes to savor each one before they come out of his tongue. Like they sit there just for a little while. So he elongates certain words. He'll have pauses within a sentence, like he's thinking, even though that he already knows what he's going to say. So it's kind of like both of those, the way they talk. So I like doing that voice. The main character, I like doing her, which she's just kind of a normal, whispery kind of. So it's really fun. So that's fun. And then I have a couple lined up afterwards. I have a book lined up with an author. I've already done 2 of theirs before, Jason Nicky. So I have another one of his books lined up. I have one hopefully lined up with a couple others. I'm always auditioning for things, so I like doing voiceover. I'm an author first, but I actually think I enjoy voiceover more than writing. So
You're good at it.
well, thank you.
You're welcome. What about you, Everly? Toot your own horn.
I have Second Chance on Sunrise Ranch by Ellie Wagensveld out, and Bathory by Candace Adams. That one is more horror, horror, paranormal ish.
It's good.
Elizabeth Bathory, the vampire?
Yeah. It's based off of the actual historical figure, Elizabeth Bathory.
The
Yeah.
Hungarian princess.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. She does a cool take on it and everything. And then just came out with Baby Doll, a rock star romance. It's book 1 in a duet. And it's by Thea Lawrence. So
It's also very good. I'll listen to that one too. It's very good.
Thank you. I love all of them, but I was really proud of that one. I felt like I had gotten quite a bit better with that one. And then working on Miss Wendy Wills' books right now.
Yep. She's probably regretting that one, but yep. We're working away.
Working on those. So those 3 are my ones I'm working on now. And then I've got one in the future with another author. And then that's all I've got going there. I've got 2 with my other name, and then I just finished one, and then 2 more to be done on my other name.
Busy.
And I did not. So, like, things happened, like, life happened, and I booked out and did not schedule things well when because when I started auditioning, I booked, because I auditioned tons in the beginning, and I booked a lot of them right away, and I was just trying to space them out with everybody, but I didn't do that so well. I've just been trying to play catch up on everything and get everything done, because I had 8 or 9 booked right away pretty quickly. And so, and then I had technical difficulties on one for a while that set me back, in the fall, and different things like that. But I've decided I'm gonna make sure that I schedule things a whole lot better in the future and try to slow it down, so I am not auditioning for a while until I get everything caught up. That's my plan.
And what about you, Lindsay? Toot your own horn. Tell us about your stuff.
Okay. So I have 8 books so far that I've worked on for audiobook. One I recently just finished from Oscar Brady, Bunny Room. That was my most recent one, and I have 2 audiobooks I'm working on this summer. Dual, actually. One is a dark romance, and the other one is a sweater punk. The dark romance one is called Masked Sinners. It's basically about a club full of masked people. All of the triggers. And the other one is called Meltdown. It's also a game. And what else? I have written a few books myself. One of them is called Dark Encounters. It's volume 1. I'm actually going to make that a series.
Read that one. It's very good.
Yeah, so it's basically stories sent from me, family, friends. I actually got a couple people off Reddit to submit their stories about seeing the Hat Man. It's my story's in there. I don't know if you guys heard of him. But yeah,
I
so it's
have
not
because I
just
read the book.
yeah. And then another one that is out is called Whispers Through the Walls. It's my story of when I was a child being at my dad and Jamie's house. And then I have another one coming out soon. I'm waiting for my editor. And that one is about also a true story about when I was in my early 20s and I rented a haunted apartment. So I tell my story with that too. So a lot of my books are all based on my true life events.
That's awesome.
And that's pretty much it.
And what about you, Lauren? Toot your own horn.
Let's see. My most recent release is Faded to the Phantom by Sarah Spade. It is a paranormal romance. I was really, really proud of that one. I felt like my performance was probably the best I had done, like, so far. I'm currently doing pickups for a book I cannot say. It is not, it hasn't been announced yet, the book. So, but that one is a really big to me project that I'm really proud of for all kinds of reasons. What else? I'm finishing up editing for Jewel of the Dragon Prince by Taylor Bell, which is it's a dragon shifter romance. And then I'm finishing up recording some alien.
Smut.
Say something about some alien. They be doing it. They be boinking.
They be doing it.
I've heard aliens enjoy probing.
They They be probing all the things. Anyway, it's called The Daughters of Exile by Juliet Kevin. So good. I've really enjoyed it, but they do boink. Anyway, that one I'm currently finishing up. I'm about halfway through recording. And then next week, I start on The Wings of Light and Shadow by Bree Diamond. And that is a fantasy book. And Everly, you were talking about in the beginning, booking. Girl, I feel so validated because same. I am drowning in like a good way, but also, not.
It's stressful.
Much. There's and I'm thinking, because when you first start, you're like, oh yeah, like I got this.
Yeah. Well, because also the first book that I did it on my other name, and it was shorter. It wasn't like a novella though, but it was shorter, and it was like just a closed door romance, right? And the character voices were just, straight, basic, and I flew through it. And I did the whole thing in 3 weeks. And so I was like, oh, and so I was basing a lot of my timing on everything else off that, and I wasn't thinking clearly on, a lot of these others are longer and take more time for prep, and yeah.
I feel that so hard. I have yet to do a book under 10 hours. Yep. I think my shortest book is 9 hours.
I'm a problem, y'all.
My shortest is 7.
So the alien book that I'm doing is 14 hours.
Woo!
Woo! It's my longest book.
Whole lot of probing.
UFOs
are rocking. Don't come.
My baby doll is what did it come out to? 14 hours, 48 minutes.
Really?
That's insane.
Yeah, that was my longest.
14 hours, that is
almost 15.
It's a lot, mate. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And when I'm supposed, at some point, I'm probably going to do the second one because it's a duet, and it's a lot longer.
Is it? Oh, peace and blessings.
Yep.
It's upon you. Yeah, it's, yeah. So I feel you so much on that one. Like, it's hard to figure out your schedule and like, and know how much time it's going to take. And the book that I signed an NDA for that I can't talk about what it is, the turnaround time was so quick for the, it was like a 13-hour book, but it was a dual. So I had like 7 hours, but the turnaround time was so quick, and I learned so much from it that I was like, okay, I would do way better if I was like actively trying to schedule out my projects, but as in like looking at how long the books are, like writing out how many hours I would need to finish per day or how many chapters I need to do per day in order to meet each deadline so that I can, do whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, and then I also have the challenge of, so I mean, I don't have, a soundproof booth. I don't think you do either. So, and I live near an airport.
Oh,
No.
I also, I know you have kids too, but like, I have 3 kids. Mine, I homeschool. So they're home. And one of mine just graduated, and she has special needs, and she makes a lot of noise. So I have a lot of noise issues. So,
You said you got a lot going on.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I know it's my issue, but like, it's something I've got to work around, and
But you're doing it.
Yes, you are doing it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the fact that you have all of that stuff going on and you're still pushing out books, and
it's impressive.
And you're a perfectionist. You have to give yourself like a little pat on the back at least.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
It's hard. It can get really hard.
Yeah. Especially since summer hit, and my daughter, before she was in school day, now she's just graduated, so she's going to be home more often. She's it's summer, but then even when school starts again, she was the one that did go to school. Right. But now she's going to be home and everything, and so it's gonna be a challenge.
You work in night shift. That's how I do that for summer because my kids are home too. So
I know.
Put them in camp. I'm working overnight.
It's night gremlin. Lauren's a night gremlin with me. She would send me stuff at 2:00 in the morning, and my dumbass is up writing anyway, so I would listen to it at 2:00 in the morning.
I'm like, why are you texting me back so fast? Shouldn't you be sleeping? She's like, I don't sleep. I'm like,
I don't sleep.
She doesn't.
It's a running joke with the other writers. When do you sleep? I sleep, about an hour and a half or 2, and then I go to work.
Yep, that's why she has so many back-to-back releases.
Yeah.
Writes about vampires just because she is one.
Exactly. Don't speak Russian, though.
You write what you know.
Exactly. How close is it, y'all? When you claim your book on ACX and it tells you how long it's going to be, how close is that to what you guys actually have to do?
Wait.
I don't know.
So what I'm saying is my book, so Everly's working on, she did coffee. So when I look at it on ACX calculates that book is 10.
The estimate. Yeah.
10.2 hours. So how close is the estimate ACX does versus what you guys feel in real time?
So I've found it really varies depending. I've found sometimes I'm slower. I tend to sometimes be a slower narrator. Yeah. So sometimes I'm around an hour longer. However, I have this is on my other name. I have an author who, the way she writes, her characters, and it's the way her dialogue is, it's a constant in her dialogue. They're always interrupting each other. So when I'm editing, I'm closing those gaps, making them immediately interrupting. Because I can't, change that voice immediately, to do it
real time.
in real time.
Yeah.
So in editing, I'm closing those gaps. And so the way it calculates, it's not calculating for that.
Okay.
So the way she writes, she's constantly having them interrupt each other, and it's closing up so many spaces that a lot of the time it's actually shorter than what it estimates on her books. So it kind of sometimes depends on your writing. It depends on the characters, like the way they talk, the pacing of the characters. It can depend on different things like that. Sometimes it just depends on simply the pacing of the narrator. So yeah, I've found different things with at least with it, with me and with my books.
I'm looking at ACX and Wendy. It was projected that Fairy Wings was 10.2 hours, and I recorded it at 10 and a half, so 10 hours and 30 minutes.
It was pretty close.
Yeah. So the very first book I ever did was estimated at 10 hours, like 10.2 hours, and the running time when I finished it was 11 and a half hours.
Okay.
I usually say give or take an hour is a good estimate. Like,
damn, I mean, Yaros is out here with 27-hour audiobooks, y'all. Like.
I mean, I usually say whatever they give you, estimate that it could be either an hour more or an hour less. I mean, it could always be adjusted a little bit more, give or take, but that's gonna give you the best. Like, especially if you're going in trying to do a PFH rate for a narrator, paying them, always be prepared to pay about, an hour more.
Okay. That's good advice.
Mm-hmm.
He's here. Well, y'all, thank you guys so much for coming. I know it's getting late and everybody's gotta fall into bed. I gotta go to semi-work tomorrow. But we really do appreciate you guys coming by and, for putting up with Jess and I shit.
Of course.
And accents.
Yep. And the accents. Yep. My bad. I'm going to do better. Probably not, but
No, you're not.
Okay. Probably
You're
not.
You stand alone.
Shut up. I tried.
I just want it on the record that I did not go in knowing there were accents.
My bad. Yes, correct.
So if they're not good, I'm sorry.
I will own that. I fucked that up for sure.
Wendy's full of surprises.
Yes, apparently. Yes. Did that. I guess that goes back to the you guys don't have time to read the book, so yeah. I will make sure I flag that shit now. I don't think I've done. Oh, well, I did. I mean, I've done auditions with. I have a narrator that's doing my contemporaries, but there's accents in those, but very few, like 2 lines, and then they're moving on. So yeah, I did flag that though in the audition. So I've learned.
I've never even considered writing in accents, and now you have me questioning myself. Should I be writing in accents?
That's because I write them in. Like, we're talking about the way I write it, because I write it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, should I be doing that, or will people hate me?
Look, are you listening? No, don't do it.
Well, you're out here creating accents for my characters.
I didn't create shit. I did not create it. Listen, everybody blame Lynn Collum. I grew up in a house with a traditionally published writer that wrote accents in the book. So my brain's like, that shit's normal. It's not. It's fucking not. That's not what's happening out here. Yeah. So.
But if you do have a character who has an accent, make sure you write the lines the way they would say it with an accent.
Yeah. Yes,
I
ma'am.
will say Wendy does very well with that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it could sound off.
Can confirm.
Because you had to deal with my Scottish shit, so.
Can confirm.
Yep. Facts. Well, all right, you guys. This was fun. If you guys ever
Yeah,
wanna
thank
come
you
back,
for coming.
Yes, thank you for coming. If you ever want to come back, let us know. We'd love to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Good night, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Night.
Bye.